All right, folks, so we've got some drama out of Middle Tennessee. First things first, we found out that about 200 Nashville voters were given the wrong ballots during the early voting period. Now, the way this works is that you're supposed to get a ballot based on where you live. But apparently, the system that's supposed to tell people this is your ballot was giving people the wrong ballots. So not only did it impact this election, but we're hearing this may have impacted the August primaries also, which means thousands of votes could have been jeopardized, so much so that the ACLU is now suing Metro on behalf of someone who got the wrong ballot. Since this news first broke, we found out that there is a fix in the works. Now, they understand that some people are going to be skeptical about the process, but regardless, they want you to show up and vote. Now, from one political controversy to another, this time in the small town of Nolensville, 3 of their top officials could either be censured or lose their jobs after the police chief admitted that he fixed tickets for commissioners. So back in 2020, Commissioner Lisa Garamoni and Vice Mayor Wendy Cookmucci were both pulled over in separate traffic stops. Cops pulled over Cookmucci for running a stop sign. Now, she can't remember if it was a warning or a ticket, but the version that we saw on the body camera shows that she was given a ticket only for it to later turn into a warning. So somewhere along the lines, it changed. Something similar happened with Commissioner Garamoni, where she was pulled over for driving 20 miles over the speed limit. Now, when police asked her where she was traveling from, she told them she had just met with a police chief.
I was down there with Chief Parker.
It was subtle, but cops picked up on the idea that she had just name-dropped their boss. Now, listen to what officers said in the car when they realized who they just pulled over.
Oh my God. She's one of our council.
What?
She's on the board, ain't she?
Is she? Oh my good gosh. Well, Chief will be calm about that. We'll have to avoid this.
Sure enough, just days later, Chief Roddy Parker pulled the ticket that now had the word void written on it. Now, you would think there's already a lot going on, but that's just the beginning. Just a couple months earlier, Commissioner Garamoni was at a party with some friends when she left and came back to find a car in a ditch. Now, we see her leave from the driver's side of her car and greet officers asking if there's anything she can do. Garamoni said the only reason she stopped is because she thought one of her friends got into an accident. Now, listen to what officers said the moment she walked away.
Commissioner or not, tell Chief next time her drinking and driving on the restaurant.
Now, just to be clear, we don't see Garamoni get in the driver's seat, and neither did the officers who were there at the time. They also never mentioned anything about smelling alcohol on her. So what happened with the videos that you just saw is that some of these citizens of Nolensville complained and said that there needs to be some sort of investigation to figure out what happened. So the city launched an investigation of their own to see if there were any ethical violations at all. And what they found is that Cookmucci never paid her ticket. Now, Garamoni paid her ticket, but almost a year later and only after a public records request was filed to try to get access to these videos. So after all that happened, the town held a public meeting where they invited people to weigh in on what happened with this ethics review. It was really our first time hearing from the people who were involved in this review, and it was odd because we saw people crying while the police chief was speaking. The police chief apologized, the commissioners apologized, but ultimately it came down to what were the remaining commissioners, the folks who were not involved in this new ethics review, what were they going to do about all this? Now, the remaining commissioners decided not to move forward with an investigation that the city would have to pay for. Instead, they gave it back to the district attorney's office, Kim Helper, and asked if maybe she would be interested in looking at this. In the meantime, the commissioners were given some sort of censure, which is essentially a written warning, even though they pretty much just said it out loud during the meeting. The town manager said that he would not issue any type of disciplinary action against the police chief because a lot of this happened before the town manager even took the position. He said he didn't feel comfortable punishing this man who almost everyone in the audience just vouched for. So of course, we're always wondering, what do you think? Should public officials be given special treatment from law enforcement? Let's end on a high note, shall we? Not shall we. Shall we's fine? That's fine. Cool. Still got to figure out what I'm going to do here. Metro Nashville Council is now moving forward with plans to cover the cost of the new Titan Stadium by increasing the hotel occupancy tax by 1%, which in theory means that a lot of this money is actually going to be coming from people who are visiting Nashville, not necessarily the people who already live here. Because you could go to a hotel just for the night, you already live here, you're doing a little staycation or something, you're paying that 1%, man. If all goes according to plan, this will raise about $760 million for the new Titan Stadium, which of course, is contingent on people visiting Nashville year after year. Now, we asked Metro officials what happens when people don't continue to visit Nashville year after year, and they said that's a problem down the road. Right now, the focus is on getting this stadium done by 2026. Which, by the way, have you seen the new stadium? Capacity is at about 60,000 people, which is one of the lowest in the NFL, but the Titans say they are more focused on the viewing experience when you're in the stadium. So no matter where you're sitting, you feel pretty close to the action that's going on the field. They've also got these terraces everywhere around the stadium, so you get these great panoramic views of downtown Nashville. And right there, you see this translucent roof that has pretty much been the focus of this entire project from the very beginning. People want a roof so that they can enjoy all of these different events in Nashville year-round. Finally, the Titans say that this is all being built with very high-tech, sustainable materials, so the building itself will last much longer. Like, subscribe, comment, and if you need any more information on the stories that we just told you about, just click the links in the description. As always, we want to know, what do you think?